tonight once police a couple players. Both teams. So I mean about it. Straight lead times answered and the line right the line right. Literally what we were talking about last night, right? Those two really showed up. And it seems a little bit different when those two are coming off the bench together. I don't know. Consistency works. Who knows? What are your thoughts on tonight?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just another pretty solid all around game. You know, we talk about them defending you know, in spurts, but they played enough defense tonight to prove their point. The first quarter and the fourth quarters, they were pretty much locked down, man. You know, Phoenix kind of got into a groove in those middle two quarters, but you know, they played defense at the first and got off to a quick start, and then played defense in the fourth to you know, to pull away at the end. So I mean, you really can't ask much more than that at this point. Yeah, like you said, man, having a consistent rotation, it makes a difference, man. You know, especially with what Rui and DeLon Wright bring to the team. You know, and again, that's I'm sure that gives Wes a little bit of you know, a little bit of stability. You know, with those two guys out, and they're pretty important to this team's success. He's just trying to find combinations that work while he's still trying to figure out how to be an NBA coach. So so yeah, I'm sure he's glad to have them back where his rotation can be what he expected to be at the outset of the season. Because I mean, if you look back, things really didn't start going to hell until both of those guys started getting injured. So I mean, it's good to see them back. Good to see them yielding some positive results. As far as the game tonight, man, they got contributions from everywhere. You know, had five guys in double figures. Of course, Rory with the huge game off the bench, 11 for 13 from the field. You know, Kuzma, he's been pretty much consistent with what he's brought to the table the entire season. You know, again, they had to deal with, you know, another pretty solid big. But you know, Porzingis and Gafford were up to the challenge. Um, you know, Monte was solid, and it was just you know, just a good team win, man. So yeah, it was good to see them string this one together.
Yeah, I really have many complaints. Um, that 10 game lose. Coos had the in arena post game presser with Contour. His mouth with the line right. Play defense. Um, you know, and some of that's they're totally those minutes go a long way. Uh, you know, you see 5 steals in the box score, and it still doesn't really truly, you know, really to the table. That said, really big night from Rui. I was happy to see that, just how consistent he was, and I love how the match because and they kept something about for it because they're just too night was too small, big lineup. She was
I think it's sound one out, Wilson. Oh, play of the game got to go with Rui, man. He was just man, he was just everything tonight, man. He came in, immediately got to work and never let up. So yeah, of course he was the leading scorer. You know, and then he just kind of carried him through, especially when when Phoenix kind of reinserted himself into the game, he was the linchpin to kind of get things back going for the Wizards. Then I guess while Wilson's out, I'll just go ahead and get into my X factor as well. Sheesh, again, man, a lot of options. We took the easy road out yesterday and just mentioned the Wizards' death. We got to get back to it tonight, man. They're they're kind of showing what we thought they would be at the outset of the season. So yeah, man, I'll go with the Wizards' death. They wore Phoenix down, man. And the bench again, of course, Rui was the main character, but they outperformed Phoenix's bench and was able to keep them in check. And again, just kind of holding guys outside of Phoenix's main guys, to a pedestrian night.
What's going on, Ray? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. The Wi-Fi here it's winning. Okay. But yeah, player of the game. I think you went over player of the game, and X Factor, right?
Yeah.
Who'd you have for player of the game?
Rui.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool. I agree. X Factor. I went with DeLon Wright. Who'd you have?
I said, I know we took the easy way out yesterday just by mentioning the death. I tapped out again today, man. Because they just kind of collectively wore Phoenix down. So I just went with their death again.
You want to know what? I'm not even mad at that. I can't tell you're wrong. And secondly, the death includes DeLon Wright. So you're definitely right. You couldn't miss, right? So again, my apologies everyone for the technical difficulties earlier. Wi-Fi in here, it's winning, it's kicking my butt today and my computers. But yeah, we're gonna get to some of these comments. But again, they just came off a 10-game losing streak, man. 3-game winning streak or a 10-game slide, a 3-game win streak they should be commended for that. And sometimes it's really simple as that. All right, so we had Anthony Tony jumped the hair off the early. What's going on, sir? He said Rui's boosting a straight stop, man. Look, they mess around and do that. They better make sure they get something worthwhile. Don't. We've seen this story before.
They talking about. I mean, it's not coming from the franchise, but talking about Rui for Jay Crowder, absolutely not.
Man, look, you gonna mess around. You gonna go somewhere where you gonna see him a lot, and he be like, he gonna end up. There's another big market a little bit north of here. Y'all keep playing around, see what happens. Jalen, the boost his team needs. Apparently, they only play defense when he's here. He has that much power. Again, his agent needs to go upstairs and make something happen. Elon showing good ones. There's level to this. Now, see, look. Yes, there's level to this, but I also think they need to find a way to put Jordan back in rotation. He shouldn't be going. I think, what if you had two of them out there?
Right, exactly.
Because not to be rude, sometimes this team needs it. Not sometimes. This team needs it.
Especially at the moment with Bill out. There's some good minutes there, man.
Yeah. Especially with Bill out. Anthony Tony with the man, look, I'm not messing with that. It's above my pay grade. I'm messing with you on that at all. This era of the league is a little different. That's all I got. Safe to say Thrill is out of here come trade deadline. We don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, you need two teams to make a deal. And between now and then, we have no idea what someone's going to offer or what teams feel. We get a better idea how teams feel about their roster, their chances this year come trade deadline. Because we're seeing some teams who started slow. They're starting to kind of pick up steam and look like world beaters. We saw some teams that started fast, and it's like Wimbayama, the School Henderson sweepstakes. So we'll see. Things change fast. Can't wait to make the play and just lose to Boston in 4 games, while Magic and Bulls are coming to get their high draft picks. Man, that's tough. Ray, any thoughts on that?
Win as much as you can, man. I'm not with the whole tanking thing or any of that. we've talked about that at length on here before. Like you need to establish uh, a situation where winning is the main thing here. Like I don't see the benefit of losing at all. So
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think sometimes like that's part of the context that's left out when we see when you go back through sports history. It's about teams that kind of doubled up with the veteran. They already have a veteran laden team. They accidentally get a lottery pick, get a top 3 pick. It's because they didn't try to tank usually. It's just that bad things happened and they were rewarded with something they had no business having. Usually, it's when a team loses everybody,
right,
but they didn't forsake winning. Like winning went off the table because of what happened to them, because of circumstance. And I'm with you. You shouldn't turn into that. That's never a good thing. Wait, better get that belt tonight and not Rui. And then good game for Gaff. Yeah, I thought Gaff had a good game too. And DeAndre Ayton also, like, I think 2 things are true. Gaff had a good game. DeAndre Ayton also did what he wanted. Um, like, and that's something I think this team needs to figure out. Opposing bigs, we're having way too many games where opposing bigs just average 30 against this front line.
yeah,
And I don't think Ayton's on the caliber of, where, the Embiids or the Jokic where it's acceptable. He's also not trash, so, but I feel weird that it's just too common. I feel like anytime it's a talented big, it's 30 on deck. Like, I'm not.
yeah. Like that should be reserved for for the top of the pyramid type guys.
Right. Like think about that. Between tonight and last night, you pretty much almost gave up. Like, you're flirting with 80 points to 2 centers, 2 opposing centers. Like, you're in that neighborhood. It's not somewhere you should want to be. And I'm not saying it's easy to stop a Joker and Embiid or what have you. However, if this is your quote unquote big lineup, you're starting multiple 6'9", 6'10" guys. What's up?
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. What's up? Like, the line can't do that for you too. Tank now, play hard next season with all your full pieces. No, I don't believe in tanking. I just don't believe in it. Especially when it's the lottery system. So it's like you can tank and still lose. Then you lost twice. So I mean, I just don't think you mess with that. Like, I think that keeping winning, I think winning at the forefront, like Ray said, to me is the most important thing, or should be. And then the other thing is like, however, my other side of this is if a team would choose to tank, right? I'm one of those people, if you're going to do something, you do it all the way. Nobody of importance to get in my way would have been here by now. We would have had multiple 10-game slides, all right? Like, that's just me personally. Like, we don't start and then do it. Like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. Like, call Sam Hinkie and do it the right way. We're going to do it, we're going to do it. Like, we can talk about the process and everything else. Did they or did they not end up with 3 lottery picks? I don't care what they did after they got them. That's none of my business. But did they or did they not? And technically, if you look around, I don't think they really missed on the 3. But that's another discussion, another day. But yeah, if you're gonna do what you got to do, you can't start and be like, "Oh, let's just pivot to tanking." It's not a video game. It doesn't work like that. And to like pivot to tanking, you also have to have enough stuff that everybody else wants. But I mean, we'll see, man. I just hope it's not one of those things where we've just seen this story in Washington too many times, man. They don't value a young player or young players. Those players go somewhere else and they become everything Washington thought they could be when they drafted them.
Never fails.
And then what?
It's clockwork.
You said, what's the benefit of getting swept in the playoffs? Look, what's the benefit of tanking and not getting the top 2 pick? Like, you could do all that and end up with pick 4 in a 2-person draft, and then what? Or end up with pick 12. But my whole thing is in terms of your franchise, like the difference between bad organizations and good organizations, you don't even, like, that's not a question. That's not a discussion. You go into every year, you field the best roster you can, and sometimes you can be wrong. But winning should still be above all, Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know what they want. But, again, y'all know how I felt. 2 buttons ago where I was. So whatever they choose to do.
Yeah, like we don't have to be here, man. Like, so.
And that's all it is. Like I feel for you guys as fans because it has to be a really tough place. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. And even this is the other thing I would say. I wouldn't believe everything you see with trade offers and everything, especially these days. I just wouldn't believe anything more than anything. Like, it's hard for me to believe that they'd offer someone who's actually playing for someone who their team doesn't even want them around. And secondly, like, did you see the anonymous quote about an exec, like, essentially who that Jay Crowder, like, you're not KD, you can't get away with that. Like, you're Jay Crowder. So just I would take a lot of things with a grain of salt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's Jay Crowder. I think he's a good piece. I'm not offering Rui for Jay Crowder. What is Jay Crowder? Like, honestly, where's the win in that? Is this team a Jay Crowder away?
And not only that, are they a Jay Crowder away while simultaneously losing Rui?
Yeah, like I think you lose more when you bring the old dude in. Like, what do we see tonight? Like, dude missed 2 shots. What are we talking about? Like, and I'm not just saying that this is not at you, Anthony Tony. I'm just saying, like, sometimes, like, especially when you're a bad organization, like, just like, you know, teams got to learn how to win, man, organization got to learn how to do it too.
Yeah. It's top to bottom, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of times, I think, you know, sometimes fans separate. Again, not saying you, just saying that it's separated at times, and it shouldn't be. It goes together. They doing anything to please. Hey, look, and if that's what they're doing, that's tough. That's a hell of a nickname you just threw in there. You a wild dude, man. Wild boy.
Oh man.
Hilarious. And all I would say, my mature reaction, my mature response to that would be, and that's just the difference between good organizations and not good organizations. You know, that's it. Good organizations, you're not even in that place. Or a dude would have been moved already. You know, all right. Things aren't equal. Like, everyone, like, okay, for example, remember, Darren, when Brooklyn was going through all the crap they were going through, and there were some Washington fans like, at least we not them? Can y'all see them from where you at?
Need binoculars, buddy.
You know, like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, like, yeah, they slipped, they messed up, they were going through some things. But think about that. They crashed and burned in front of everybody, and there's still a big-ass gap. Like, again, just good organizations, bad organizations, or good organizations and not so good organizations. But we'll see what Washington's doing. What's important is they got a 3-game win streak, and then it's about them trying to continue it, right, to build on it. Because, look, man, the East is the East right now. Like, if you could put a string together, ideally at some point you need to. I'm not saying they're going to go on a 10-game winning streak, but you need to find a way to rectify that 10-game slide.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, however you do it, where it's 4 here, lose 2, another 4, whatever. But you have to make it to where that doesn't hold the weight that it currently does, because that's a hell of a weight right now. And it was a good win with Brad out, you know. But we'll see, man. We will see. I think they're on the road in Orlando, which is not fun, on Friday, with the tallest team in the league, where, you know, KP is going to be looking up at folks on Friday. So, you know, the Wizards going to have their tall lineup, and Orlando's going to be like, so. Here's our regular lineup. We'll see how things go, man. I was happy that they competed on the glass tonight. You know, for Phoenix, I have really no words for them, but a win's a win. Ray, you have anything else you want to add on?
Nope. Just man, keep getting them in the W column.
Yeah. Like, again, at some point you got to find a way to nullify that 10-game slide, because that's nasty. It was nasty work, and you got to find a way to make it where that hurt. Like, that really hurt. Right. Like, that 10-game slide coincided with Brooklyn getting their act together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure the timelines didn't sync exactly, but just an example of what happened during that time. And Atlanta slide, too. Like, Atlanta slid at the same time. It's crazy. But for Ray and myself, y'all have a great evening. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Capital won today. I lost. But most importantly, the Wizards won. So, you know, we'll see you guys soon.